On this episode of Spill the Tea with LLIB, we have the incredible Maureen Gildea from Maureen Gildea Therapies and Wellbeing.
So, Maureen, spill the tea on what the journey as a woman in business has been like for you so far.
Oh, well, so many highs, so many lows. Unbelievable. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I have really enjoyed it. Passionate about what I do as well. So that helps, doesn't it? When you're really passionate about something. But yeah, lots of things to learn because I've always been employed. I was employed I'm a teacher by background. So I love passing on knowledge and information. Yeah. Worked in the NHS for a long time, primary care. And then to start your own business is quite daunting.
Quite a few jobs.
Yeah, it's quite daunting. But I was fortunate enough to meet you two ladies and be introduced to leading ladies in business because I didn't have a clue about anything when I started. I just knew that was something I wanted to do. Yeah. To become a wellbeing practitioner, which is where I am now. Started off as a complementary therapist, but then I've introduced lots of different things along the way to support people, but really didn't have a clue about how to go about it, how to do it.
Yeah.
So much to learn, wasn't there?
Yeah, so much.
So much to learn. And joining Leading Ladies, I think, was, and that really was such a supportive thing to do.
Oh, thank you. So in terms of well-being, like why is well-being such an important thing? Obviously, you've done the teaching side, you've done the NHS. What was it that led you to well-being? What was it that you thought, you know what, like this is so important, I've got to do something with that?
Well, it was my own health, really, my own well-being. I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer at the age of 41, and then I received complementary therapies as a result of that, which helped me in so many different ways, not only with the side effects, not with mental health. It just gave me that little bit more sort of confidence to be able to get back to myself, because I think you lose yourself when you've had a major, health, health condition. That sometimes you don't know who you are afterwards.
That's such an incredible, to be the need, to then go and support the need. You understand that person who you're treating so much. That's pretty incredible. So what other services do you offer then? What does it look like from your side in terms of the therapy side?
For me, it's like it really is the connection between the mind and body. That's centric to what I do. That's my approach. So I started off as a complementary therapist, purely complementary therapist, because that's what I retrained. Once I was diagnosed with cancer, I retrained and started still working full time. Yeah. And then doing lots of learning at night, doing night school.
Wow.
Retrained. So I did all the traditional complementary therapies like massage, reflexology, aromatherapy, Reiki and stuff like that. But then that led me to being a manager in a wellbeing centre in the NHS, specifically for people who've been diagnosed with cancer and their families too. So then there was a big gap, and it was apparent there was a big gap in emotional support. For people, because they've got the medical care, they've got the team around them, they know they're looked after medically, but then, people would come and book in for a complementary therapy and they would be in tears. And you think, this is something nice for them, and they go, I don't know where that come from. That just come out from nowhere. They obviously felt it was a safe space to do it. And, I introduced things into the centre then. It was mindfulness and emotional freedom techniques. And that was the one that really did surprise me, because if you know about emotional freedom technique, it looks a bit weird, sounds a bit weird, but it really does work. And it was the feedback from the patients that really sort of thought, well, it's got to be beneficial. If the patients are just freely coming along and saying that treatment really helped me. So much so I use it now. So it empowers them as well. So it's not something that they can just go to a therapist for, but they can learn how to use it and utilise it outside. And that's what we used to do.
Wow.
And teach people. So I trained as an EFT practitioner then, and also a mindfulness teacher for stress and health. And so combine, some of the physical therapies, having a nice Indian head massage is really
please.
helpful, isn't it? You know, to de-stress. But then some people will then open up and they'll start to talk about things. So then it can be a case of, oh, well, this might be beneficial for you. So it's a combined holistic approach really to for their well-being.
Yeah, it's an incredible thing to be able to offer, isn't it? You know, and when we know what we know now about stress and the impacts of stress on our bodies, I wonder whether it should still be called a complementary therapy and whether it's just a nice to have and, you know, oh, actually that tags on to like the real therapy.
Yeah.
It's still, there's still, I think, that divide in people's heads, isn't there, of, you know, oh, that's something that's nice
like
to
a luxury,
do.
isn't it? When it really, it's not.
It's a necessity.
Yeah.
It is a necessity.
Yeah.
So the likes of EFT, you know, mindfulness is in the NICE guidelines. So I think that's widely recognised, isn't it, now that that's an accepted therapy. But EFT, emotional freedom techniques, is fast becoming. So it's comparable to the likes of the gold standard therapies like CBT and EMDR.
Yeah.
And there's so much research now and studies coming out about the benefits of EFT and how it's long lasting.
Yeah.
So the effects of that are long lasting. So, you know, it's if we can embed that and we can use that with clients and teach clients to use it for themselves, then, you know, we're going to be more emotionally resilient, aren't we, moving forward?
Definitely, and able to manage the challenges that come along in life, you know, which there's never going to be a time is there where it's sort of all, you know, plain sailing. You always hit that, you know, bump in the road and you think, oh God, I don't know where that comes from. And it's, I think about giving people
still calling it a bump in the road, because I feel like it's like a crash in the road at every single point. I feel like the bumps in the roads are just non-existent now. It's like not a pothole anymore. It's like
I've gone down a cavern.
Definitely.
But that's the bit. I think, you know, for me, it's like I've got this toolkit of lots of different things that can be helpful and can be used for different people. You know, everyone's unique, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone sees the world through their own, you know, frame of reference, what they've experienced, what they've been through.
Yeah.
Nobody else has ever been through that apart from you.
Yeah.
No one else has walked in your shoes. So what works for one might not necessarily work for another. So it's just, you know, for me, I think I feel really grateful that I've got this wide toolkit of therapies that I can incorporate.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So can you share a pivotal moment or a challenge that you faced in your career that ultimately led to a valuable lesson or insights for your business journey?
Yeah. Zoom. Oh my goodness. Do you remember when I was using Zoom for the first time?
Technology.
And believe it or not, I was an IT teacher. So.
Sometimes. Technology moves on so quickly, I think that we can, you know, we can brush on with the technology.
Zoom, the thought of using Zoom absolutely terrified me. Absolutely. Really did. So much so, when I was invited to do some sessions on behalf of Beautiful New Beginnings, I was like, oh my, can I really do this? It's online, it's on Zoom. Don't know whether I can do this.
Like a block and a barrier.
Yeah, I had my own barriers, so did a bit of tapping.
Well done.
Did the Zooms. And that really opened everything up for me.
Yeah.
By, you know, doing the sessions on behalf of Beautiful New Beginnings, that's enabled me to work with clients now across the world. I've got clients in America, Australia that I do sessions with on Zoom. You know, to get...
See, exposure therapy, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just zoom into it and
Absolutely.
You'll be fine.
It was unbelievable, but that really was a block.
Yeah.
Because I think the nature of the work that I've done in the past has been face-to-face. It's been, you know, maybe with groups of people have all been in the same place. So, you know, doing group work online on Zoom was a bit daunting. And then, you know, being able to then offer that service to people for one-to-ones, which has been really, really amazing and like so beneficial for them.
And I think what we really saw during those Zoom sessions was, you know, how you can recreate that energy for people in different
100%.
spaces, and they were so beautiful, weren't they? Those sessions are so
you know, the
needed.
feedback that come back from that was amazing, wasn't it? You know, about how it was a lifeline for them, and you know, so you know, I think it was hard to see whether that would translate online, which it does. It does really well.
And sometimes it is just about like that trial, isn't it? You know, I don't know how this is going to go, but like it'll be a really good learning experience in the meantime. And actually what it's done for you is open up your business so incredibly and widen that reach that you've got from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah. So geographically, you know, you wouldn't be able to do that, would you? You know, I've got clients who regular clients who live in America.
Wow.
And one of them last week has emailed, do you know what? She said, the sessions have been amazing. I've released that fear block, what that fear was. So she's an estate agent, and she said that she's doing marvellous in work.
Amazing.
Wow.
You know, sales and buying and selling. She said, my colleagues interested in having some sessions. Is that something that you would be able to do? Like,
wow.
of course.
That is incredible. Of course, on Zoom. I'll send you a Zoom link.
Although if you did have to travel to America for some
that
group
wouldn't be
sessions,
bad.
you'd take it.
Definitely. Yeah. I feel
Make
like
it
though,
work.
just in case you got stuck with Zoom, we would have to go and help. You know,
Oh,
if you needed it for anything
for
else.
technological
Yeah.
purposes.
Definitely.
Yeah, of course.
We would have to be
Tech
there.
support.
Yeah.
So what advice have you got then for other people who are going through that similar sort of block? What would you say? That fear, you know, when fear's holding you back, what would your advice be?
Do some tapping.
Yeah.
Release the fear, release the block. You know, you could work with somebody to overcome whatever the blocks are.
Yeah.
But I think the advice is just do it.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit more about the tapping? So for anyone watching who's going, what is she going on?
Yeah, what is she doing?
Where am I
is
tapping?
tapping?
And what-
Can you explain like what is tapping? Like how do you do it? Like like what does that look like?
Tapping EFT it's emotional freedom techniques. People say technique, but there's more techniques under that umbrella of EFT. So depending on what the situation is and on what's going on for the clients. People, have you heard of acupuncture?
Yeah.
So acupuncture is widely used, it's widely recognised, it's in the NICE guidelines again. So there are points on the body where an acupuncturist would insert needles and twist it, and then that works on the meridians within the body. It's the energy, the flow of energy. So you'd be pleased to hear we don't use any needles. We just tap on the points. So we use the same points. It was created by a psychologist called Roger Callahan, initially TFT, which is thought field therapy. And then it was later adapted by Craig. Do you know what? I forgot his name. I'll come back to that. I'll remember that. So he adapted it. I think I've had a menopause moment.
Tap on it.
Yeah, tap. So yeah, he adapted it. So he simplified it. Rather than having algorithms for, say, for example, somebody was dealing with anxiety, they'd have specific points that you would tap on. So he thought, well, okay, if that works, why don't we just use all of the points? And then we're going to get whatever the issue is, so it doesn't matter. So there's upper points on the upper part of the body and on the hand. So the idea is we have a statement, a set-up statement. So that asks you to focus on whatever the issue is. And then you accept yourself regardless of that issue. So whatever that issue is, doesn't really matter. You know, we can work generally to start with, but then we work on more specific things. So there's a little bit of cognitive reprocessing going on because we're actually verbalizing whatever the issue is. There's a little bit of exposure theory as well because we're being exposed to whatever that is. And there's also the somatic. So if we've experienced anything that, and I'm going to use the word trauma, but it's not trauma as in a traumatic event, anything that we've got no control over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be big T, it could be little T.
It could be a little T. Something's happened in school, you were called names when you were younger, that stuck. That can play out in the background of your life and into adulthood.
Unknown.
Yeah. And, you know, we can work with things like that and things, sometimes we're unaware of it. It's not something that's in the conscious mind. But then we use the body as well because we store a lot of the emotions attached to that event. So something can trigger us.
Yeah.
And it's not actually that event that's triggered us, it's something from the past.
Yeah.
So that's what we're working with. So we're tapping on whatever the situation is, whatever the emotions are, whatever the issue is that comes up.
Yeah.
And we tap through on different points in the body. So we've got here, 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 under the arm, top of the head, but we're tapping on the side of the hand as we are creating that setup statement. So it can help with, in the moment, if somebody is feeling anxious and stressed, just tapping on those points can help to bring that down. But we're not actually dealing with whatever's causing that. So then working one-to-one with a therapist is going to be helpful then to be able to get to the core issues that are causing, you know, whatever's going on for them at that time. So
I always say to clients, when you are in the counselling side of things, the most effective way of bringing yourself back into the present moment is to use your senses. So what you can see, what you can taste, what you can smell, what you can hear, what you can touch. And it's completely free to do that in the moment. And it can be just so powerful. It can reduce anxiety attacks. It can, you can't be in that anxious state in the future if you are focusing on the present and those, those 5 senses. That's amazing.
And that's the thing, isn't it? That, the job we do, as being therapists, is to empower other people. And that's what I love. The things that I do, the therapies I offer, the likes of the mindfulness sessions, the EFT, is empowering for other people.
Absolutely.
So they don't have to specifically go to the therapist. They can learn those techniques, and then that is then a skill for life, isn't it? To be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is.
So building a successful business often involves a lot as well, but it involves a lot of calculated risks. Can you share any risks that you've taken in, part of your business that you feel like you could, give some advice on how you went about that risk, how you got over that risk? Did you, did the highs, the lows of that, taking that risk, did it pay off?
I think just starting the business in general was a big risk. It really was a big risk. I'd gone from being employed, having a regular salary every month, knowing what was coming in, what was going out, and then to suddenly, and for me, that stability, that financial stability has always been really important. Always been really important. And I thought, how am I going to do this? How am I going to transition from being employed, having that wage, to then having the freedom to do what I'm passionate about, but still not have that financial stability. I think it was just taking that leap of faith, really, and doing it, just taking that leap of faith and doing it.
Do you find like you were supported when taking that leap?
No, not until I met, honestly, and I genuinely mean this, until I started coming along to the Leading Ladies networking events. That very first event, I was absolutely terrified, and I was thinking, oh my word, but everyone was so lovely. And I really did get so much benefit out of, the training that we did, just the support, what was there. It was that you really have created something special.
And it's so many friendships as well. We look at, lots of the Leading Ladies, and we think to ourselves, like, that friendship was made on this platform. Would they know each other now? Like, would those, even the business relationships and the collaborations we see, it's so special, isn't it? And it really does fill our cup. You've created something really special, from the very early days, starting out, when somebody like me didn't have a clue. What was a business plan? I just didn't have an idea what it entailed, starting your own business, how hard it would be. I didn't realise how hard it would be. But the rewards of it are huge. It's amazing. People sometimes skip the hard part, don't they? And just make it look all fluffy and amazing. And this is how much I'm generating this month, and da-da-da. But I had to work 24 hours, 7 days a week with 3 kids in tow, and it's really hard. And I feel like it's really important that we highlight the tough parts of business as well as the success.
It's real, isn't it? It is real.
And often, the same as yourself, you've got something that you're really, really passionate about, and you think, it's great being able to do what you do, but actually the background that you need to have in order just to get people to those sessions, the marketing for that, the social media presence for that, all of those things are full-time jobs in their own right, aren't they? And you think, wow, I don't know how to do social media. I don't particularly want to do social media. I don't want to be on TikTok. I don't want to be here. But actually, it's not about what you want. And becomes how you separate yourself from what the business needs and what you want to do.
Yeah.
But initially, you have to do all of those jobs because there's not enough revenue to be able to pay anyone. So you very quickly learn how to be a social media manager and how to market and what your branding's like. And, you know, looks like I'm building a website this month. Let's have a go on Wix. You know, it's all those skills, I think, that we take for granted when we think I'm going to start a business because actually I'm really good at wellbeing sessions. All right, it might be good at that. But there's so much here that I hadn't even thought about, you know, that allows me to do this bit that I actually love. So, it is a challenge.
It is. I was on the phone to Claire quite a few times. I can't get onto it. How do we do this? How do we do that?
And it's so lovely having that support network. You're absolutely spot on. That support network can make or break you in business.
It really can. So what 3 tips within your wellbeing niche have you got that you know will support other women in business who are watching this episode? Or 3 tips in general?
Okay, I would say trust your intuition.
God,
yeah.
It's been a big one for me just recently.
You've met my husband, haven't you?
I have.
He's lovely, isn't
he? Gorgeous, lovely Ian.
He's
fabulous
lovely.
Man.
And I was looking to do something a little bit different business-wise, rather than one-to-ones and stuff like that. So I said to him, I'd really love to do like a retreat day or something, you know, that. So I thought, I'll look into it, looked at a couple of venues and things, chatted it over with him, and he said, everyone's doing them. Who are you going to get to go? And I was a bit like, oh, that's...
Popping my bubble with your pin.
Keep your pin to yourself.
So I was a bit like, a lot of people are doing them. So I sat there for a minute. I said, you're a builder, aren't you? And he went, yeah. And I went, and he doesn't advertise, doesn't have any lettering on his van, doesn't promote himself at all. It's all word of mouth. And so I said to him, how many builders are there in Liverpool? He went, hundreds. I went, no, there's probably
everyone's
thousands.
Doing that, Ian.
I said, there's probably
everyone's building
thousands.
houses, Ian.
So he said, I said, are you out of work? No. And I said, well, there you go. I said, yeah, there are lots of people who do what I do. I said, but we all do it in our own unique way. I said, so people will be drawn to me like people are drawn to you. Yeah. So I sat with it for a bit and I tried to do my flyer, you know, create my flyer. I thought, no, I'm going to do it, see how it goes. Tried to create it, and nothing would come. No words would come, no images or anything. So I left it. Following night, it was about 10:30 at night. I thought, right, I'm going to have a go at this. So when I was following my own energy, my own intuition, did it, put the flyer together, put it on social media, and it sold out overnight.
And all the rest of them since have as well, haven't they? In the lovely monk's cottage. I see them and I'm like, I've got to create time to go on one of these retreats because they look incredible.
So the first one sold out overnight. Put another date on, that sold out. Put another date on, that sold out.
Wow.
So I was
Stick to building your houses, Ian.
He went, oh, that's good. So what I would say is trust your intuition. Go with what you feel is right. Good and is right for you. Because if I'd have listened to him, I wouldn't have done that and I wouldn't still be doing. I'm still running the retreats now.
Yeah.
And they are selling out. The second tip I would say is embrace your uniqueness. Yeah. Because everything about you is unique to you. And that's what people will be drawn to. Yeah. They'll be drawn to how unique you are and what you offer, how you offer it and what you provide. So, and the third tip I'd say is stay in your own lane. Avoid that comparisonitis because it's a terrible thing.
Oh, you waste so much energy on it, don't you?
Yeah.
You really, really do. And I don't genuinely think we've got time to not stay in our own lane at the minute. But at the start, it was really hard to not see the success other people were having. And I just think that, you know, social media versus reality is just, you know, people look at our platform and go, oh, it's doing amazing. It's doing great. Yeah, it's doing amazing, but it's really hard.
And there's a lot of work that goes into it, isn't
a
it?
lot of work.
Yeah. People don't see that and people do see the success side of it, don't they? And think, oh, you know.
Oh, I'll try a bit of that.
I'll do that. Yeah. But don't realise that it's taken a long time to get to where you are.
Yeah. I know I always say to people, don't look at my half finished and think that that's been easy. Because I wouldn't even say that we're halfway through yet.
No. I think we're still, we still class ourselves now as still
the beginning.
Yeah, like the babies in business, like 6 years in, seems like,
So much
right,
to
okay, we're
learn.
still learning
Yeah.
every single day about people, about how to run a business. Like sometimes it doesn't feel like we even have a business. It's like, it just goes so quickly, like the process of the events and even BNB and everything that we do on that side. It's every day is a lesson.
Yeah.
But and things change all the time,
Yeah.
don't they? Do you know? So it's like
Yeah.
you still need to keep up your learning, don't know? You know, still every day is a
Always.
learning day, isn't it?
100%.
Every day, no matter who it is. I
Yeah.
always learn something from somebody.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you've got to be prepared to do that as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Otherwise, your business is very stagnant. So there has to be that learning, and you
Movement.
only learning as you grow
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
absolutely.
100%. But Cal needs to learn a few things. One of the things she
Does
still
she?
can't get her head round is how to make the perfect cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to teach her as best, but sometimes it's really frustrating. You do make a nice cup of tea though. And I do
for
make a
you
nice cup
anymore.
of tea.
Is that debatable,
I
Cal?
do. I have to make it her way in my house.
Yeah. She even bought me special tea
I
bags
do.
in her
I buy
house
a
now, so
PG
she is
tips now.
considerate.
I am. I really
Wow,
am.
I have my own
So she's
tea
got her
bags.
own little, when you open the cupboard, we've got our own little jars and
Yeah.
it's Yorkshire tea for me and PG tips for Cal and then the green tea.
Because I really feel
people.
like you can taste the difference.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
did. You won the thing.
So what's
didn't
your
you?
favourite tea bag?
Oh, Yorkshire tea.
Yorkshire. Hopefully that's the only thing Claire's going to win in this podcast.
Let's
Yorkshire
hear how
Yorkshire
you
tea.
make the perfect cup of tea.
Right. Tea bag in.
Yeah.
Tea bags in.
Don't take sugar.
No.
So I don't have sugar. Hot water. Give it a little swish around.
Yes.
All
I
of
really
it.
don't know where
in.
this is going. You are so like storyteller.
Put the milk in.
With the
Did you take the
bag.
tea bag out?
No. Tea bag stays in. The milk in. Give it a little swish about. Get the colour right. Just right.
Yeah. Just
I'm just going to
Just
start right. to release the energy that I'm currently feeling, and all is well with the world. Under your arm,
Top of your head.
collarbones, top of my head. Everything is okay, Cal. Everything is all right. I accept
Breathe.
the way
Don't
Maureen
forget
makes
to
the perfect cup of
It
tea.
reminds me of like the Goldilocks story then. Just right. This porridge is just
right
This
for
bed is
you.
just for me.
So
Yeah,
sorry.
make me itch.
And Abby as well. Brilliant. So you are
Team
a
Claire.
Team Claire.
I am
which is
Team Claire.
amazing.
2-0 on this recording.
Yeah.
I know. I
Sad
love
times.
It. Amazing.
Where's my mates?
I know. We're going to have to get you some, aren't we?
Yeah.
Definitely 100%. Well, thank you so much for being a Team Claire and making your cup of tea the right way and for sharing so much. This episode is going to be so valuable to so many people across wherever.
The world.
Yeah, across the
wherever
world.
in the world,
Yeah,
yeah.
you don't even need Zoom to watch this. But yeah, thank you so much for being such an amazing guest.
Yeah,
and
thanks
sharing
for having me
your-
on.
It's been
your
incredible.
advice.
Thank you.
Yeah.